Hey, welcome to Area 51 Raceway. Another painting project to do. Let's get to it. Come join us. Hey there, from Area 51 Raceway. So this is going to be a painting part series on painting this Buick here. This is a resin body, and we're going to paint a resin body. So the first thing we're going to do is, before we make our car anodized in color, is put our base coat. Now, from the videos that I've gone through from Createx, you could use gray or white, black. I'm going to go with white, just to kind of just start with that, because I don't have gray, and white's fine. I'm not going to mix this in front of you, and hopefully it won't make a huge mess. So this is what I do. I have my little cup here and my little booger there, and since this is brand new bottle of paint, I'm going to remove the seal and take that off and dispose of it there, and hopefully I won't get paint all over the place. Then what I will do is I will just shake it up. It's got a ball in here, so you need to shake it up for a minute or less. Once you've shaken it up, it's water-based paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this in here, and I'm going to go with about, I say that much. That may be a little bit too much, but that's okay. I mean, no big deal. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add your 40-30. So this is added by 10 to 25% volume. So we're going to add 10 to 25%. So again, I eyeball these things because it is really a matter of just, since it's such a small amount for such a small project, it's not like an actual automobile you'd actually use a graduating on. But if you want to do graduating cups, go ahead. Then I'm going to add 10% of this reducer right about there. Now hopefully I won't make a huge mess with this. So now I get everything in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this up just like so, and so we'll mix it up for like a minute or two. Usually you could stir it with a stick and stuff in the cup, or if you have this, you could stir it in here. But I got this for the fact that I wanted to be able to mix it up, and then I can kind of cap this off. And these are storable to a certain amount of time. I cannot remember how long you could store these for, but you don't, you kind of want to use them immediately, in my opinion. I mean, you could save it for the next day or maybe a couple of days, but I would prefer to use it, as soon as possible when you're doing your projects. But since you're using such a small amount for, a model, it'll go a long ways if you don't use all of this. But you can hold on to it if you want to. And again, as I'm talking here, I'm just mixing this up, and that's a pretty good viscosity there. That's kind of what you want. You kind of just got a little bit coming out there. Just kind of want it to drip out a little. And I'm trying not to make a painty mess here, even though this is water based, which is nice. So that should be good enough right there for mixing. As you can see, that's pretty good viscosity. There is what we're looking for, to drip off like that. And I will take this and try not to make a mess. Let me get a piece of plastic I have lying around here, and then I'm going to put this here. Then I'm going to cap this off and leave this in here. And what you're going to do is you're going to let this sit for, they recommend 10 minutes. I usually go 15. And the reason why you're going to let this set for 10 or 15 minutes is that this has to start reacting with your base paint or whatever paint you're using and your reducer. So this needs as they say, it starts marrying the products together, because it's gonna take its effect within that amount of time to mix all well together, to get all acclimated with each other, since there are two separate things going in there. Now the balancing clear, I use it between inner coats. Inner coat, this would be an inner coat. So this would be the first coat, and then another one will go over it, and that's what they call the inner coat, is what I understand. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong if somebody comments, because I know sometimes people are more experts than I am, and that's no problem. I appreciate all the comments and the advice, because some people have given it to me, and I take no offense to that whatsoever. It's, you know, if it's some information I don't know and you could give to me, I'm happily would love to listen, because again, I'm still a rookie at this kind of stuff. But I'm doing what works for me, and this is basically what they recommend. So we'll let this sit for about 15 minutes from this point on, and we'll go to the spray booth and spray it. And I'll talk about prepping the car and then the actual spraying. So, be right back. Hey, so welcome to the shed and the painting area that I use for Area 51 Raceway to paint the models. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter the paint. It's been sitting for 10-15 minutes, so it's ready to go. But the one thing that's important, you want to filter it into the gun. Do not filter dirty paint, or don't drop it just straight into there. I highly advise that you don't do that. Clean paint is happy paint, as I said. So let's go on, and you'll see how I'm going to do this filter straining here, and let's go paint. All right, here we are. I'm going to get my paint and strain it into the cup. Take this off. This is a little tricky sometimes, so I should be wearing gloves, and I didn't bring any gloves, but that's okay. It's water-based paint. It's not going to kill you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it in, or strain the paint. Shoot, there we go, making a mess of myself. All I'm doing is just pouring it into the strainer and filling the cup here. Hope you can see that. See, I got some coming out because I went over the the wrong spot.
Nice
so
going.
A little bit of a mess, but you know, shit, that's what expected sometimes. I have a little towel over here I could use, and I'm just filtering in my paint, and I'll wipe the rest of this off when I'm done. I'm gonna dump the whole thing in there, and that's pretty full right there. Set that off to the side as I make more of a mess here. Cap that off. Good thing I got water here to clean things up. Got a little towel here, actually a big towel, and I'll just clean the cup up. I really don't like making a mess, but sometimes it happens. So I got my model here, and what I'm gonna do is I bought some tack cloths. So tack cloths are nice to get dust off, and since this environment's kind of really dusty, it's not great for painting, even though I have a booth. So I hit this with like alcohol before I brought the car out here. Now I'm going to do is just tack it with the tack cloth, and what this is going to do is remove any dust that maybe get on the car, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And you let these air out after you open it out of the package for about 10 minutes. So now that I've tacked that, we're ready to shoot the paint, and here we go. So we'll do a first pass. Now this is a white Autoborn sealer color, so it may not show up right away. Oops, stick there. I'll let that dry off a little. You see it's changing color there a little bit. Very little, not much. We'll make another pass at it again. Doesn't look like it's going on, but it is because it's such a light color. So just get patience in, you know, applying this, because it will take a little time. Now the temperature here in North Carolina is about 80 to 90 degrees, but the humidity is at 70%, so it's not really affecting that. The humidity wouldn't be affecting too much around me painting this. Now if it did, I would use acetone in my mixture, which I didn't do in the, you know, the first part of this video. All I did was basically you know, mix the paint itself with no acetone. Acetone helps it dry quicker on high humidity situations. It's a little warm in here, but it's not humid, so this is doable to spray it without acetone. As you can see, it's let it dry a little and then shoot it again. Starting to get its color on there. It's just taking time. You see it is changing from the yellow to the white. We have plenty of paint in here, I know that. Yep, plenty of paint in there. And again, this paints really spray on really nice when you got them mixed, you know, the way they recommend you to mix them. Well, you don't have any complaint about it, the product itself. And then we'll get a little flash dry there. Make sure this is... There we go. A little bit of a clog there on the end of the nozzle, cleared it out. Sometimes that happens. Dry a little. Let that dry a little. Doesn't build up too much. And it's turning pretty much. You got the white color. Check out how much paint we have. We got quite a bit of paint left. So I'll let this dry, and we'll go back to the bench and check it out under the light. See what it looks like when we're done. See you in a bit. Hey, so welcome back to the bench here. We're back from the paint booth. And we have the Buick all painted up with the Autoborn Sealer White. Urethane's a little bit tougher to paint because you have to really sand it down real well. I don't think I sanded this down as well as I should, but it looks like it's fine where it is. There's a little run there, a little too much there, but I'll just sand it down a little and be fine one little area. It is what it is. We'll go with it. And when we get the other colors in that we need to make the anodize, we'll continue from there. So that's the first part of this series. And as always, take care and have fun racing.